Good afternoon, guys. Am I audible to you all? Please make it confirm.
Yes, yes.
Okay, Lucas. Thank you. Uh, okay. So actually, now we are starting to our next topic here. So now in this class, we are going to see the databases, and in the databases, we are going to see the MySQL databases here. Okay, so actually I have already installed my SQL in my computer here. So I just want you to any of you just share your screen, and I'll guide you and follow the step to download the MySQL and the installation complete process. So other people just guide and follow this thing, and obviously I'm just recording this, so I'll update the recording classes on your chat section in class plus here. So if one of you please want to share, please share your screen so I can guide you how to download and how to install MySQL workbench here. So anyone, Nelson, Lucas, or Ramsar, any one of you, because I cannot do, because I have already installed MySQL in my computer, so I cannot reinstall this one. And I also don't want to delete this because I have already my many project running on the same databases. So guys, please share any one of you can. Hello, Ram sir, can you do this?
Sir, actually, I've already installed.
Okay, so you have already installed, and Nelson, can you share your screen, please? Or Lucas sir, anyone? Because I need a screen. Uh, guys, without installing MySQL, we cannot go for further, no? So we have to go for it. Yeah, exactly. Okay. No, Nelson, I am not muted you. Just unmute yourself from your side. Try to unmute you. Okay. Okay, guys. We are stucking, guys. Please share your screen so I can guide you and to download or install the database here, MySQL. So we go for the code here. Okay, finally. Okay, so Nelson, okay, just open your browser first. Okay, and now open your browser, any browser. Okay, here we need to type MySQL downloader. Just go for MySQL download. MySQL download. Okay. Now you go to the first link, MySQL download here. Okay, so obviously we are in a download section. So if you scroll down, just go to scroll down here. Okay, so now here, okay, lit up, yeah, wait, okay, so here you can see MySQL community GPL download. So just click on this link, the last one. Yeah, this one. So MySQL community GPL. So here you obviously need to find MySQL installer for window here. So obviously in the first row at the last. Yes, exactly. So this one. Okay, just click it, and here you will see the two kind of installation. Yeah, one is a 2.1 MB, and the second one is a 303.6 MB. So you obviously need to do that, and just go to the no thanks. Just start my download here. You need not to log in or sign up here. Just click on the no thanks. If you can see this, no thanks. Just start my download here. So if you click on this, you are downloading. Okay, so this is downloading right now. Just wait for a while, and and after downloading this, just go to the download section in your PC, in my PC here, and just wait for it downloading. So okay, it's a downloaded right now. So just go to the download section in your my PC. Open your folder, PC folder. Have you opened this? Nelson, I need to see that. Where is your downloading? Because MySQL provides lots of software and tools, but we don't need all the softwares. That's why we need to customize MySQL here. So that's why after installing, it will ask you to what kind of MySQL you want to download, or you want to customize MySQL. So we have to select the customize MySQL here, and in customize sections you will see there are lots of software and tools in MySQL. So we need only requirement or required tools here. So that's why we need to need MySQL, but customize MySQL. So I just minimize this and open your okay, now go to the my PC here in a download folder. Okay, this is not visible. I'm getting white screen here. Is anything wrong, Nelson? Okay. Okay, just go to the customize here, custom, the last one, exactly. Now here, go for next. and wait, and you can see we have our tools, available tools, or we can see the product here in a left side, but we want to select it, and then we have to send the on a right side, right hand box. So obviously just click for the first one. You can see exactly no, on a plus operator. Before this, before name, you can see the plus operator here, MySQL server. Before the MySQL server, there is a plus operator, you can see. Exactly, just click on this, and again click on the plus operator. Okay, again, once again go to plus. Yeah, exactly, just click on this MySQL server. Exactly, now you can see the green, the arrow has been green. So just click on this, and this will shift from the left to right. Exactly, now go to the application, plus operator. Exactly, now again you go for the first bank. Exactly, workbench. Exactly, again workbench. Yeah, exactly, yeah, just select this workbench here. Now send it to right side. Now go to the shell, MySQL cell, do the same thing. Okay, again. Okay, now select the cell and send this again. Okay, now go to the MySQL router here. Okay, now select the MySQL router 3.039. Exactly, now send him to the right here. Okay, now go to the next. So this is the tools, and this is the product only we need to we need in a MySQL workbench here for the MySQL here. So go to the next, click on next. Okay, now execute this. So this library or many product started to install in your MySQL. So wait for a while, so it get downloaded here. Okay, so it will going to be, take some time because it's completely depend on your Wi-Fi or network system, network speed. It will take some time, don't worry, let it get downloaded. Okay, now go for next, click on next. Again next. Okay, wait, so we don't need to any changes, so go for next here, same. Okay, so use a strong password to encrypt it. Now it will be asked to create a password, and this password every time whenever you open the MySQL, it will this password going to ask you for entering into the MySQL workbench here. So go for next, click on next, and now here it asking you to create a password here. So remember this password for next time as well, because every time whenever you log in the MySQL workbench, so this same password going to they will ask you, it will ask you to log in here. Okay, the password should be same. Okay, now go for next. Okay, so nothing need to be changed, so go for next again. Okay, here same as go next. And here we have some log and configuration steps, so it will be automatically started to configure. Just you have to click on the execute button. Okay, now exactly, just wait for it's a configuration steps to be completed. Okay, now time to finish. Just click on finish here. Okay, next. Now click on next button. Okay, finish again. Okay, next. So here everything is downloaded right now, and now go for finish here. So just click on finish. Okay, so here your workbench is started to. Okay, so here we are getting here workbench exactly. So this is your my first connection. You can see here local instance MySQL 80, and this is the root, that is your username, and this is the host, that is a local host, and you can see 3306 is a port of your connection here. So if you want to click here, if you click here, I mean go to the connection here, so obviously it's going to be ask you password, and the same password you have to enter that you created before. Okay, so now okay, so this is the database workbench where all your databases is kept here. So you can see this is the administrative part. If you you can see the schema here, so go for the schema right now, just right side of the, okay, down administrative, the beside of administration, can you see this on the below of left side? Come down a little bit, or little bit more down, below more more yeah, more, little more. Yeah, here you can see the administration and the schemas. Okay, yeah, just go for the schema right now. Now it is the administration part, and now click on the schema here. So this is the schema where all your databases is kept here. So this is the system databases, this is the sys databases, that is the built-in databases of this workbench here. So this is the built-in, we cannot do anything with this. So every databases that is going to be created in the future, so that all the databases is going to keep this part here. So below the system, or maybe the before the system, because it is going to be obviously according to the name sequence wise. So here you can just cut it. Now it's time to let's code here, and let's me demonstrate the workbench and the MySQL and what is the database exactly. Okay, so just cut it and stop sharing the screen here. Hope you guys have installed successfully MySQL. Now I'm just sharing my screen here. Okay, so this is okay. Just I'm opening my MySQL workbench here. So MySQL. Okay, this is the workbench. So this is the workbench. Obviously, if I click this one, and now it's asking more for password here. So here I have in my schema parts, now you can see I have two databases here. Obviously this is a system, that's built-in databases of MySQL. This is workbench here. Now I'm just going to drop this, I mean deleting this. Okay, so now we have a same, you have also a system databases, and I have also system databases. So here we are going to, okay, so wait. So what exactly is difference between the databases and the MySQL workbench, MySQL database? So see, we have a database. If we talk about what is the databases, simple means the collections of data is called the databases, and the databases is kept a place where all the whether using all different tools, it's a permission, it gives us permission to access the database that tool is called the MySQL here. So MySQL is nothing but a software, we can say, and it's provide you to keep your databases here safely, and it's provide you, and MySQL it provides you the many tools and software to interact to your databases from the any other third party here. So as we can in here, obviously we are accessing our databases in a MySQL and using a Python here. So obviously it provides you the tools, the functions, and the property that is make you easy to access your databases that is kept inside the MySQL here. So this is the MySQL, and here we may have multiple databases here. Let's say one databases, two databases, three databases, and many more databases. So this is MySQL, and MySQL provides you different tools, different functions that make you easy to access these databases from the coding, or we can say the third party. Okay, so this is databases. If we talk about the databases, simple databases is the collections of data that is kept as a sequentially, or we can say the organized in the form of organized. Okay, so this is the database, and database is nothing but the database is the collections of the table here. So let's say suppose I have a databases of a school here, obviously. So this is the, let's say this is the database of school here. So in a school we know that there are multiple peoples come in the school. Obviously we have a student, we have teachers, we have and the employee that is doing a non-teaching job. So these kind of database kept in a format, and that format is called the table here. So obviously in a particular databases we have a multiple table here. We can say the database is the collections of table here, and in this table obviously we have a school databases. So obviously we need to store our student databases, detail of students, and this detail of students is will be collected in a table here. So we can say this table is called the student table, where all the students database data is kept. See, second tables may be the teachers tables, where all the information of the teacher is kept inside this table here, and maybe the other employee for the emp table, and here is the data of the emp is kept here. So table is nothing but the information that is going to be stored for the particular department, or we can say the group. So obviously in a table we just create a column here, and obviously we have suppose we have a student table here. Obviously we have to keep the data of a student here right now. So obviously what we can do, we can create a multiple column. So let's say name, in a name table, in a name column, obviously we need to store the name of different students. Obviously we can have a roll number here. Now we have a class here. Okay, so in a name column we need to store the name. Let's say Vivek is a student whose roll number is, let's say, 36, and he is a student of 5th class. Okay, now we have, let's say, Vaishali. Okay, Vaishali, let's say she is a class of 6 student, and now she has a roll number is 36, and she is a student of 6th class here. So this is the table that is going to be kept all the information of the different student in a sequence wise. So this is called the column. We can say that table is nothing but the collections of column, and different table makes one database here. Okay, so in a single databases, in a one databases, we can create, or we can create a multiple tables here, and that's tables going to be stored the data of particular group here. So this is going to be MySQL. This is the databases, and through the Python we are going to access all these informations, and we are accessing information means simply getting all the value that is stored in a particular databases. We will add all the we will create databases in a MySQL through the Python. We will try to access all the databases and the information that is kept inside the databases here. So this is all the operations we are going to perform through the Python here, Python code here. So I just start with the coding right now. So hope you guys understood this code, these things complete. If you have any queries, any questions, you can ask before jump to the coding section here. Any queries, Lucas, Nelson, and Ram sir?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay.
No, sir.
Okay. So let's jump on the coding section here. Okay, so now here let's start with the MySQL. Just MySQL, I'm just making it headline. Okay, so here MySQL. Okay, so first we have to make a connections between the Python to MySQL. So after establishing successfully connections, we can interact with the MySQL from the Python here. So we can see I have opened MySQL Workbench here. Now I'll try to make a connections from a Python to MySQL Workbench here. So obviously to making a connection here, we need a module here, and that module okay, so we have a module name that's called MySQL connector. So just give me a second.
ये क्या है, enabled है और active है, enabled and active.
सर
क्या हुआ?
आप इसका यूज़ नहीं कर रहे क्या?
ना अभी इनका डायरेक्टली करा रहे हैं, तो देना.
नहीं मैं उसको बताइए, कोई नहीं. Okay guys, so let's call the module here, and the module name is mysql.connector. So this module, obviously this module has a function that is called connect function, and that connect function we have to pass some argument in it, and the argument obviously going to be information about the MySQL Workbench here. So obviously we have to pass some information in it. So with the help of that parameter, it's going to be make a connections to a particular specific database here, or we can say the we have a connections here. So obviously we have to pass the information of the connections, obviously that we can see if I show you the connections name here. So if I go to home here, so this is my first connection obviously, so I have to pass some information about the what is the username, what is the host name, and what is the password of this connection here. So obviously we have to pass the three argument as information of this connection here, so it can establish connection to this connection here. So obviously let's come to the here, and I'm just importing the module, and module name is mysql.connector. So may this module is not available in your, because this is not a built-in module that can you directly import. So just to check if you have already, so you obviously you are not going to get any error, and if you are getting any error, seems it is not available in your. So if it is not available in you, so obviously now you need to go to the script folder, and you have to open the command prompt here, and now install the okay, so pip install mysql minus connector. So okay, so this is going to be, if I run this, obviously I am not getting an error, simply means I have already installed this one. So if you don't have, so just go to the script folder of Python file folder here. Okay, so I'm just going to the script.
मतलब बहुत डिस्कशन होने के बाद ऐसे हम लोग अगर पढ़ाते हैं, बेसिकली वो गोडाउन ही है, इसका मेन पर्पस है कि वो सर्विस सिस्टम से हम लोग
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, if possible, can show demo on how to import MySQL connector, because it's not actually working in my laptop.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just showing that. Okay.
Okay,
So,
sir. Okay.
yeah,
Sure.
this is your script folder, and now you need to come on the script folder, and you have to come delete all the path here. So now open the command prompt here, cmd, and if you click, so obviously your command prompt will open, and obviously it should be your current location, because we are inside the script folder of Python. So here now let's pip install, and after install, let's say mysql minus connector. So this is going to be your name of your module here. So if I enter this, so obviously it will start to download here, because I have already installed, so it's showing me that requirement already satisfied. But obviously you don't guys have this one, so just go and install this module here from okay, so this is pip install and mysql.connector minus connector here. Don't use dot, use minus connector here when you installing this module, but when you importing, obviously it's going to be mysql.connector here. So this is your module name that is going to be used at the time of installing this one. So okay,
Okay,
clear?
sir.
I'm just cutting
Yes,
this.
sir. Got it, sir.
Okay, clear?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir. I
now
got it. It's
let's
working.
back to the code here. So okay, after successfully connections, and after importing the module here, now we need to use the functions that is stored, or that is available in the mysql.connector here, and using this one, obviously we need to make a connections between a Python to MySQL Workbench here. So obviously I'm just going to call the module here, and in this module I'm calling the specific function that call the connect. And because this is a function, so I need to use the functionality here. And in the functionality, obviously we have to pass the 3 argument. In the first argument, you have to tell the user, and with the username, obviously the username is your root, or maybe different in your case, okay, comma, and the second value going to be host, obviously obviously localhost, and separating with the comma to enter the next variable here. So now we have to password. In password, obviously you need to enter your password here, and after this putting all the 3 credential here, now I'm just going to store this connection in a, let's say, in a variable, name it con. So this in the con variable, we have a connections, we have a code of connecting the connections of connection between the Python to MySQL here. So this connection going to be stored in a con variable. So here if you after putting the value, okay, I'm just stop sharing for a while because my password contain my phone number, and I can't share my personal details here. So okay, for a while I'm just stopping sharing here. Okay, so now I'm just
तुम्हारे आईपी डिफाइन किया हुआ है 19 वाला, ठीक है। अब देखो मेरा 23 वाला भी है, ठीक है। अब मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ कि एसएच करेंगे, ठीक है। मगर करना कैसे है कि मेरे पास तुम्हारा यूजर का नाम बोलो तो पहले root,
okay, I'm just getting some error. I don't know what happening. Just a bit
उससे
second.
पहले सीडी करके निकला, उससे नहीं होगा, सीडी करके निकला, हाँ, ठीक है। अब कैट करके स्पेस लगा के
Password is the ping there. Okay. Mm-hmm. Password, let's see.
इसे यूजर चेक करते हैं हम लोग, पास डब्ल्यू ये पास
No, man.
ठीक है, रवि, ठीक है। तुम एक काम करना, रवि को पास डब्ल्यू लिखना, स्पेस रवि लिखना, एंटर कर देना, एंटर कर देना और 1 दे देना पासवर्ड, नहीं तो अभी पासवर्ड मांगेगा, ये अलाउ नहीं करना, ऑन कर। अब देखो मैं यहाँ एक अपने फाइल बना रहा हूँ, ठीक है। मैं वो फाइल को सेंड करना चाहता हूँ रिमोट, तो कैसे वो सेंड किया जाता है, ठीक है। उसको कहते हैं सिक्योर कॉपी, उस प्रोसेस, ठीक है। तो हम लोग क्या करने वाले हैं, एक फाइल बनाते हैं।
Guys, just give me 1 sec. Actually, I'm having some problem
मैं
here.
पहले बनाता हूँ
My password is not matching with the original password here.
.txt, ठीक है। इसके अंदर आई करके हमने लिखे हाउ मैं करता हूँ, तुम्हारे पास वो फाइल मैं सेव करता हूँ। अब तुम एक काम करना, स्विच एसी लिखना, स्पेस लगाना, आइकन लगाना, स्विच, हाँ आगे
Okay, now, okay, so
वैसा स्विच नहीं है, एसयू स्विच यूजर, हाँ स्पेस आइकन लगाना, हाँ स्पेस लगाना, आइकन मत किया, तो क्या दिया देखो, अब स्पेस लगा के रवि हाउ आर यू,
okay, so I'm using a try and catch, accept block here, and I'm going to run this code in a try and accept. Actually, the try accept as same as a if and else, very similar to this. So in a try block, we just write our code, and if the code get executed without any error, so obviously we are completely executed this code here, and obviously we will connect our connections with the MySQL Workbench here. And if we don't, and if there is some problem in a code of that is kept inside the try block, so obviously we are getting some error here because the code is not getting executed and we are not getting a connection with the MySQL Workbench. So for this error, we are using accept function, accept here, and this accept here obviously that will handle your error, and it will tell you what exactly happened with the code that is not running properly in a try block here. So obviously I'm just calling try, and try after I'll put the semicolon to go the addition, and in this addition I'm just pasting complete information for the connection here. So here, and if this code get run and without any error, so I'm just going to print some value here, and printing
मेरे स्क्रीन को
I'm just want to see the message if the connection get established. So
LS
connections
कैट का फालतू नहीं है।
established successfully. Okay, and if this code having some error, so simply it going to be a next code block, and where the it will get the accept here. So accept in accept here, okay, so in accept here we want to print some error, and what exactly the error we are facing to connection. Okay, so here the to get the perfect error, and to get the message, to see the message what exactly error is happening. So I'm just I just call the module here, and in this module we have a keyword called the error, and that error show you the exact error what is happening with your code here. So dot, I'll just use error, and I'm just giving a name of this error as a ER. Okay, now let's down and come inside the indentation here, and if I again, and I'll just message failed to make connection,
उसके बाद कमांड चलाना है ये वाला
and the reason I'm just passing here after the, let's say, ER, and that ER obviously going to tell you the what exactly happened with your code that is not going to be make any connection with your MySQL Workbench here. So if I run this, so obviously I'm not getting any error. So simply I am got the okay, so we are getting a connections between a Python to MySQL Workbench here. So now if I show you, so now I am inside of this one, I am now inside the connection. So I'm inside the connection of this one. So I can see here we don't have any
मेरा यूजर का नाम है
databases here, because obviously this is the databases, that is the built-in database of the MySQL Workbench here. So I just this is the refresh button here. So if I click on this refresh, so nothing is going to be added and nothing is happening. Simply means we haven't created any databases here. So first, okay, so next code, come to this code here and see we can from here every command we need to give a command from from Python to MySQL. Simply means we are going to give a command to MySQL Workbench from the Python code here. So obviously now after making connections, we need to create a cursor for this one, for this connection, and after this creating a cursor, we need a function. We have a function inside the cursor, and that is called the execute function here, that is available inside the cursor here. So obviously first we have to create a cursor here, and I just create a cursor for connection. So obviously we have established a connection here, and obviously now we need to create a cursor here. So to creating cursor, we need to call the connection, because we want to create a cursor for the connection here, and we know that our connection is stored in a con variable here. So I'm just calling the con, and in con I am implementing the cursor function, the cursor function, and this function, this cursor function going to be stored in a different variable that's called the cur, or nothing but the cr. Okay, so if I run this, obviously we are not getting any error. Simply means we have successfully implemented a cursor function on our function on our connection variable here. So simply means we are just implementing cursor function on our this connection here. So obviously now the cursor is stored in the cur variable, and this now we have to need to give a command to the MySQL here from Python here, Python code here. So obviously now we need to call the cursor that is also created in the and stored in a cur variable. So I'm just calling the direct variable here, and now I need to use a function that is called the execute function, and in execute function we need to pass the command whatever we want to get it done from the workbench. So we just have to pass the command here. So in a cursor we need to use the execute function here, and this execute function, and in this function we have to pass the command what exactly we want to get it done from the MySQL Workbench here. So so first let's see whether we have any workbench is installed or not in our workbench here. So sorry, whether we have some databases in it or not. So I'm just giving it command to show me databases here. So show databases. Okay, so it is going to be store the databases, and obviously there is a maybe one more than one databases, obviously, so we cannot get all the databases at the same time. So obviously, if we have a different databases here, so obviously we need to using a loop to get all the databases one by one here. So obviously, so we have collected all the databases by using a command of show database here. So obviously, now we need to see all the database that is available in the workbench here. So obviously, I just want to get all the databases by one. So I'm just using a for and for I in where obviously in a cur. So cur, and I'm just putting a semicolon and print what I need to print I here. So if I run this code, obviously, see, it is going to show you all the databases that is stored in your workbench here. Obviously, we can see now this is the built-in databases, and other also are the built-in databases. So these all the databases are available. These are built-in databases, and we don't have any databases. There is no any databases that is created by us. So obviously, this is all the databases, built-in databases of MySQL and MySQL workbench here. So obviously, now we can see the available databases that is stored in your workbench. So now what we need to do here, let's create a database here. So let's create our databases. So to creating a database, obviously, we have to use a cursor function here, and again, all the time whenever we want to give a command here, so obviously we need to use this execute function. So I'm just copying this and pasting here, and here come and just deleting this, and in execute function I just give a command to create. So for create database, and after giving command, I need to give a name of that database here. So let's see, let's create a school database here. So obviously, create a database, and now I need to pass the school underscore db, db nothing but the database here. Okay, so if I just run this again, and we are not getting any error, simply means the databases has been created. If I go to the workbench here, again, we are not getting any, we cannot see any databases with the name of school database. So just try to refresh this and go to the refresh button here, and if I just as I click this, so obviously now we have a database with the name of school database here. So obviously, just go just click on the refresh button, and now you can see the database that is created by you guys, okay, from the Python here. So obviously, if I click this one, so obviously there is no table, no views, and no stored, obviously nothing is in it, the database here. So obviously we have created a database, school database, and as I show you that in a school database we may have a multiple data, let's for student, for teachers, and for the employee. So obviously, so database is nothing but the collections of table here, and that table keep that information about some one group of people, or one can see the database of particular subject here. So obviously now let's create a table name to keep the information of student data here. So obviously, so before this creating the table here, if I run this code again to show the all database here, if I show the run again, and if I use this code again, and if I run this again, so obviously now see, early we don't have any databases with the name of school databases. Now we have a databases with the name of database here. Okay, so now see this is how we can create a databases, and with the command create databases, and then we have to pass the database name here. Next, this is how we can see all the databases that is available in our MySQL workbench. So obviously we can do this through the execute function here. So now we need to create the table, and with the creating table I need to create a column as well. So at the time of when we are creating table, at the same time with the creating table, we need to declare the column that is going to store the data of a different person here. So obviously I'm just going to create let's say, okay, I'm just creating table here, obviously student table, and I'm just storing the data of students here. So I'm just creating let's say 3 column here, let's say where the ID. Okay, in the next column I'm just creating a name here, and for the next column, let's say I'm just creating okay, so let's create next column, let's say class here, no, not class, let's say city here. Okay, so we have a 3 column, and obviously in ID, obviously let's say 102 201, name is let's say Neha. Okay, city is, let's say, Delhi. Okay, so next 2002, and in this I'm just going to pass the let's max, and max belong to Bangalore. Okay, so this is table that is going to keep the data of a different student here. So now let's come here, and okay, so now okay, so I just show you this is the column 1, column 2, and column 3. Okay, so if you want to make anyone as a primary key, simply means if you want to do making any column as a primary key, simply means you are going to use this that you have to keep all the column, all the member of this column must be, you have to keep this. You cannot make a null value for this. If you are suppose if we are making this ID as a primary key, so simply means we cannot avoid any value, or we cannot just leave the any value as null here. So let's say just for example, let's say I just created and just leave this ID here for the, let's say, poll. Okay, so obviously we cannot do this because we have created one data for the different name Paul here, and I cannot ignore this ID here, because this is not going to, because we have just created this primary key, and in primary key you cannot ignore the, and you cannot pass the null value as it is. Okay, so now we have to keep this, and you have to fill this, this is the must and this is the compulsory to fill the data here. So making primary simply means you cannot keep any value null, and you cannot repeat, or you cannot use the duplicate here. So this make the column as a primary key. So obviously we let's come here and just copying this to creating a table here, and okay, I am just saying creating tables. Okay, so here let's copy, and in the execute create, I just okay, so I'm just deleting all these things, and now let's say okay, so create table, table. Okay, now create table. Now obviously I have to tell the name of the table. So obviously we have a database. Guys, just give me a second.
आपका कोई ऐसा बैच है सर जिसकी फर्स्ट और सेकंड क्लास की रिकॉर्डिंग मिल जाए मुझे सर?
हाँ है,
4-4 घंटे
4 घंटे की वाली कोई नहीं है।
मतलब जैसे 4 घंटे की क्लास होगी एक दिन, सेकंड ईयर स्टूडेंट ने क्लास मिस कर दी है, मुझे उसको रिकॉर्डिंग देखनी है, तो मतलब एक क्लास की रिकॉर्डिंग देखनी है।
नहीं, मेरे पास 4 इसकी क्लास की भी 4 घंटे की रिकॉर्डिंग, क्योंकि ये क्लास भी मेरी एंड होने वाली है, वीकेंड वाली जो हो रही है ना, इसकी एंड होने वाली है आज में भी, आज हो जाएगा या तो
स्टार्टिंग में भी ये भी बना
हाँ 5 से 6 वाली में, उसमें 2-3 टॉपिक हुआ है।
वो रिकॉर्डिंग दे दोगे मेरे
मैं क्लास को दे दूँ?
को? कितने बजे? 5 बजे?
हाँ, कौन है?
अरे पूरी सर का फोन आया था, उसने पूरी सर ने फोन करा सीधा कि मुझे रिकॉर्डिंग तेरे आज क्लास मिस हो गई है।
किसकी रिकॉर्डिंग में मिस हो गई है?
आज कैसे उसका क्लास मिस हुआ?
नहीं आपका भी स्टूडेंट है, वो साकेत का स्टूडेंट है।
पाइथन वहाँ पे भी कोई है?
हाँ, सत्येंद्र सर है ना वो।
अच्छा।
हाँ, वो तो चला गया।
सत्येंद्र विनोद नहीं, सत्येंद्र सर है, वो उसके लिए आए थे बैकएंड के लिए, कुछ ऐसा है, तो उनको बैच दे दिया अभी फिलहाल, क्योंकि विनोद सर नहीं वापस आते, तो वो ऑफलाइन बैच है।
बैक एंड के लिए दे दिया मतलब?
कोई डेवलपिंग के लिए, मतलब कोई प्रोजेक्ट वगैरह है उसके लिए काम करने।
यार ये तो गलत बात है यार, हम बैठे हुए हैं, हमें प्रोजेक्ट नहीं मिल रहा।
वो सिर्फ प्रोजेक्ट के लिए आए।
मैं बात करता हूँ
अरे
चलो,
उसे नहीं है, वो लड़का का वो अलग कहानी है।
मैं बात करता हूँ सर से, मैं तो सर से बात करता हूँ। मैं क्या चलना क्या सर, मतलब हम बैठे, हमें प्रोजेक्ट नहीं मिल रहा, बिठा रखा टीचिंग में।
के लिए नहीं डाल के
मोहित सर को बोलो विकास से बात करें।
मुझे बस रिकॉर्डिंग।
ठीक है, मैं डाल दूँगा। Okay guys, sorry for this interruption. So let's start it, and now we have to so I just commanded, so every command that you pass, so you have to keep the capital letter of your command letter here. So obviously now we are giving command here, so obviously we have to keep as a capital letter here. So create database, and now this is not a command, so this is going to be stored. Same here, I just give the command to show the database here, so show database here obviously. And now let's create a table, and in a table obviously now we need to give a table name. Obviously I'm just going to say this as a students, nothing but that. Okay, and now we have to create the column here. Obviously for the creating column I use the I'm just separating and combining in a square bracket here. So obviously for the ID, as I show you, this is the ID, name, and the city here. So obviously this is the ID, and ID should be, you have to tell the data type here obviously. So the ID going to be int type, that is integer, and int obviously you have to declare the length, the how much length going to be for this ID here. So data here. So obviously I am just passing the auto increment simply means it is going to be it's just creating auto length as your record here. So okay, so now I just auto increment
पासवर्ड आसान होता है ब्रेक करने के लिए, मगर एन्क्रिप्टेड अगर हो
increment. So it's going to be all by default it will be adjust according to your data here, the length of your data. Okay, so now next okay, so name here. Okay, not name, going to be small letter, and name, and obviously now again obviously so we have to also declare the length of this one, and we have a varchar, simply means variable characters, and this limitation have a 255. So varchar has a limitation of 255 words, and if you don't want to pass the 255 words, let's say I just pass the 25 words. Okay, so the maximum length of this varchar is 255. So it is a huge length. And next we have a city here, CYTY. Okay, so city, and in the city here, let's say okay, same, I have to pass the varchar again, because, and same varchar I am just passing the, let's say 255 maximum values. Okay, so I just created a 3 column here in the student table. ID, with the ID it's going to be integer value absolutely. Okay, so this is going to be the length of the int ID is going to be auto increment, simply it's going to be adjust according to your length of your data. So we have a next column, name, and in name obviously we are just passing variable characters, and the length of this is going to be a maximum is 255. So this is the huge length, and we have a city. In the city column I'm just passing the again using a varchar, obviously let's say Delhi and Mumbai, whatever it is. So obviously the maximum character is a limit of maximum character is a 255. So obviously let's make the ID is a like a primary key here. So if I make the ID primary key, simply means you cannot avoid this the value, you have to put this and keep the ID number of the student, and you cannot use the duplicate here. Simply means if you have given some, let's say 201 you have given to the already allotted to us different student, and now you again try to give the 101 to a different student, so you cannot do this. Simply means you are, because just you are using the primary key here. Primary key do not allow you to pass the null value, and do not allow you to keep any value as a duplicate values. So here let's say to making primary key, I just use the keyword as a called primary key. So PRIMARY, and now let's say space key. So this is all the command that we need to pass in a table function, in a table tables of the student tables here, and now creating a columns here, ID, name, and the city here. If I run this and if I don't get any error, so okay, so now we have, okay, so so see we are getting error, and the error is showing that no database is selected. Simply means suppose we have a workbench here, and there may be obviously 2 databases here, system and obviously school database here. So I have to tell this. So you are going to create a table in which databases. So obviously previously, if you see the previously, we have established a connection in our workbench here. Now I'm just copying this code, and with the connecting with the MySQL workbench, now you need to make connections with the databases as well. So here I am just passing this, and now just in the credential here, so I just need to pass one value, and that is called the database. So it is directly going to hit the particular database and start to interacting with the database here. So obviously in the databases I'm going to pass the database here, and the database name is, I'm just copying this database here from this code here. So I just pass here. Okay, so connection established successfully. I'm just passing with database. Okay, if I run this code, okay, so again I'm getting some error, I don't know why. Okay, I'm just copying this. Okay, so I'm just running this code again, and if I, okay, so finally now we have connected a connections with the specific database, and that's called that database is called the SQL database. Now if I show you, so we have successfully inside this
तुम्हारा कौन सा में है वाईफाई
SQL database here. If I run this, obviously we have there is no table here, and if I run this code again, I'm doing the same thing. I'm creating a table, and this table going to be created, obviously this table going to be created in this database here. And if I run this again, okay, no database is selected. What the heck?
वर्चुअल प्राइवेट नेटवर्क कहते हैं इसको
Okay, I don't know why. Okay, so I need to pass the database at the end of the, let me try this. Databases, let me check the spelling. Database.
ठीक है
So I'm running this again, so no issue. So let me do this again. Okay, so I didn't create a cursor for this database here. So obviously I need to create a cursor for the database here. So obviously I'm going to okay, so for creating cursor, obviously I'm going to call the con and dot cursor, and okay, cursor function, and I'm just putting this cursor in a cursor variable. Obviously see, this cursor is a different to this cursor. This cursor is a built for the connection to your MSQL workbench. Now this cursor is a built to establish connection and built for this database here, including MySQL workbench. So I'm just running this. Finally we are not getting any error in creating cursor here. So I just call the cursor, and if I run this, so finally we have created our table here. And if I go to the workbench again, and if I you cannot see the table here. So if I just minimize this, and if I refresh this again, and if I show you this again, so just click in, and now you can see the arrow button here. So it's showing that yes, there is a table here. And if I click this, so obviously we have a student here. And if I go to the click again student table, and you can see we have a columns here. And if I go to the column here, you can see obviously ID, name and city that we created at the time of creating table here. So this is the ID, name and city here, and that all we can see here. Okay, so this is, if you don't get all the value that is created here, so just go to the refresh button and just click here. You can see all the available databases, tables and the columns here. So now if I show the indexes, indexes means simply what is the primary key or not. So obviously we have a primary key, and if I go to the primary key, it's showing the ID. You can see the column is ID, yes, unique. And in ID, obviously you have to visible all the data, and the type is which is, just leave this thing, and visibility, yes. Okay, so now, okay, so this and foreign key. Okay, if I go to the foreign key, there is no foreign key, and trick, nothing is in trick here. So obviously now this we have okay, let's come to the code here. And now we have successfully created a table here, and now time to store the value, store the data of a different student in our table here. So to do this, simply okay, now let's try to see how many tables in your MySQL workbench, or we can say in your this database here. So obviously I'm just calling, okay, so okay, I'm just calling the cursor. Obviously cursor is used for the cursor used this cursor variable used for the establish connection, creating cursor, and this cursor obviously variable is for the this particular database, not the for the MySQL. So I'm just cursor dot execute. Obviously this execution operation going to perform the operation on this particular database here, and in the database. Okay, now here let's pass the value, and we can say, okay, what was that? Okay, so now we have to give the command, and in the command, because obviously we want to get all the database that is available inside our all the available tables that is stored in this particular database here. So obviously I just give command show tables. That's it. Now again we have to access all the database, all the tables if we have multiple tables here. So to getting all the tables one by one, obviously we are going to use the for loop here, and this for going to be small, for I I in and I in after I in. Okay, so all the tables is stored in a cursor here. So cursor and putting indentation, and in indentation I just print all the table here. If I run this again, so here we have only one tables with the name of student tables inside our this database here, called the school database. Okay, if you want to create a different table, let's say this is the table is storing the data of students, and if you want to create a table for the teachers here, so obviously you can do this in a school database. You just create another table with the name of teachers, and in the teachers table obviously we need to keep the data of the different teachers here. So obviously I'm just not going to this again, so go for it with yourself here. Okay, so now let's add value in table here. Table means simply in a column. Okay, so I have to call the cursor here. So cursor dot execute, and in this execute function, okay, so I have to pass the two argument here. Obviously in a first argument I'll just have to command to that just store this value, insert the value of table name and whatever we have a column, we have to pass all the credential here. And in the second parameter we have to pass the value of id, name and city here. So obviously in a first parameter, first argument, I have to pass I have to give the command, and the command is insert for inserting value, insert into. Okay, so this is going to be capital letter, whatever we are just commanding, all the letter going to be capital here. So insert into, now I have to pass the students, because students is the name of our table here. If I show you this, okay, I'm just copying this so I don't get any mistake. Okay, so student, and now students, after the student I have to declare the column here as well. So I'm just using that bracket here, and I'm just passing obviously id, and id after name, and name, then we have a city here. So city, and after this, so this is the command that we are telling the MySQL Workbench to just insert the value in a table of student tables, and the tables where the table column name is id, name and city, and then we have to use the value, and we have to create the placeholder for this value. So creating a placeholder, we have to pass the values, and after values we have to create a placeholder for all these three columns here. Okay, so the placeholder going to be id, name and the city is, let's say dollar small s, comma dollar small s again, and then comma dollar small s for all the three column here. And here, okay, so this is the going to be command for telling the MySQL Workbench here for the storing the value. And here now we need to pass the data, or we can say pass the value of a student here. So let's say because we have to keep the value as a sequentially wise. As the first we have passed the id, so we have to put the value id. Second we have to pass the name, and in third column we have to pass the let's say so we have a, okay, no, so this is not going to be string here. Okay, so here let's 101 the id, comma, I'm just putting the name, obviously because name is going to be a varchar, simple variable characters. So where let's say okay, so let's give me Alexa. Okay, and Alexa, I'm just for the city, and Alexa belong to SA Noida. Okay, so this is the value is going to be stored in the column of this id, name and the city. If I run this again, and I'm okay, so before the running this, I need to commit this connection here. So at the time of when we just inserting the value with the at the same time we have to commit the connection here. So I just call the con and dot commit. If we don't use commit, obviously we are our all the values not going to be stored. So keep remember that whenever you are inserting value, at the same time we have to keep the connection as a committer here. So if I run this code, both code again, at the same time, and if I don't get any error, simply means our data has been stored in the MySQL. And if I go to here, but we cannot see the data here. I don't know why my work is not, maybe you can see, but I don't have I don't know what is the problem with MySQL. It's not showing the data here. So if I run this code, and if I go to the So here you cannot see the data because I don't know what's happening data now. Yes, but we can get the value in a MySQL so obviously we don't have a primary number as well. So okay, get all, let's see the value that is kept inside the student table here. So we have to fetch the all the data that is kept inside the student table here. So now let's see the value that is stored in a table here. So let's fetch the data from MySQL. Okay, so simply we are getting the data that is stored in the table student tables that is student tables is existing in a school database here. So obviously now we have to call the cursor, and cursor obviously need to execute, and execute function obviously we have to tell them first we need to pass the command. So select star. Okay, I let you know what the star mean here. Star and star from, and now you have to pass the table name here. Okay, so students. Okay, now obviously we have a multiple data stored in a student table, so obviously we have to get all the data. And before the we are just giving command to show the, this star showing means completely means including all. So we are just giving command select all means star means including all data from the student names. So just get all the value from the student tables. Okay, and now this is going to be give command, and I'm just try to get all the fetch. I'm just fetching all the data that is stored in the student here. So obviously I need to call the cursor because in a cursor we have all data dot fetch fetch all, and this fetch all function. Okay, so we need to pass any argument here. Okay, so this fetch. Okay, so this fetch all function is going to be get all the value that is stored in the student here. So obviously that data that is that the cursor has fetched successfully and get all the data, and I'm just putting all the data in a variable called let's say data here. Data. So this data has all the value that is stored in the student table here. So if I okay, so now we have our data in which all the data is available. Now I just want to print all the data what is exactly is stored in a student table here. So I'm just using a for loop because obviously we have multiple data inside, and I just want to get all the data one by one here. So that's why I'm using a loop here. So for in where data, because in data we have all data available. So now print what? Print let's say I. So if I run this, so here you can see as we have stored the value 101 for Alexa, 10 Alexa name is Alexa, and Noida is a city. So this is how we can get all the data from our databases. And in databases, whatever your data is stored, you can fetch all the data from the database here using the execute command. And for fetch all means simply fetch all functions going to store all the data, stored data from a student table, and the stored whatever it is getting from the student table, obviously this is going to be stored in a different variable called data, and I'm just using the loop. I'm just getting all the value of the data because this is a data of one single student here. So suppose we need to insert a multiple different at the same time, so we also can do this. So before showing this that thing, so I just okay, so if you have guys any query, any questions, any confusion, you can ask. Nansel, you have a question that without Python, can we install a data MySQL manually? Yes, we can do the same. This is called the MySQL queries here, and obviously if I show you here, so obviously this is command is stored here. So obviously we can without coding in Python, we can use queries here by default here. So if I go to here and okay, so we have a you can see the MySQL. This is, if you click on this, so it will obviously going to be create our database here, and in the okay, so this is called new schema, and obviously new schema is going to be create our database here. So you can do manually as well. This is called the MySQL queries, and MySQL queries this is not a part of MySQL because we are just learning a Python here. So this is the kind of complete different topic here. Okay, but yes, you can do. Your answer is in short, yes, we can do. Any other guys? Ram sir, having okay, so are you getting any error installing MySQL connector? Have you installed successfully? Ram
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, I've installed. It's
okay,
working. It's working.
okay, okay, fine. Uh, Ram said, because you just asked a question, why do we access via Python? We can add manually. See, because we are learning a language here, so obviously see, in a real life company, if you are working, so you may know better than me, that's we have some a group of people that only work on the databases here, and there is some developer and who just know the language here, and but he want to put the value from users and want to store the value in a database here. But obviously we have a different team in IT sector that only is handling that specific database here. So we cannot use this as a programmer. We don't have that much allowance to get directly to database. We just need to make connections between a user to databases. So that exactly what is exactly programmer is do is a make a is a kind of a mediator between a user to database here. So that's why we are learning. Yes, that's why we are learning accessing the MySQL workbench, or we can say databases via the Python here.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other? Lucas Nelson. Any guys have any problem? Okay, fine. So let's move on, and let's try to store a multiple data here. So I just cleaning this code here a little bit. Okay, so I'm just passing. I'm just removing this command line, and I'm just putting here, and I'm just this command going to be stored in a, let's say, a variable SQL. Okay, so I just pass the SQL here, and again I am just removing this value here. Okay, so already we have stored one data of one student here. So here let's see, let's keep the val here, and in this val I'm just obviously because we are using multiple data and storing a multiple data in a single variable, so obviously we need to use a data structure here, and the very common data structure in a Python that is commonly used here is called the list here. So obviously in a list I'm going to pass multiple data for multiple student here. So obviously this is going to be first and second student. Obviously we have already installed our first student, Alexa. For this next we have a third student, now we have a fourth student, now we have a five student. Okay, so I'm just showing the only 4 student here, new student here. So obviously now we need to pass the primary key, the ID here. So for the next students, the ID going to be 102. Guys, just give me 1 second. क्या हो?
क्या सिंगल पाइथन से हम कोई सॉफ्टवेयर कर सकते हैं?
हैं?
सिंगल पाइथन लैंग्वेज से
हाँ
सॉफ्टवेयर, पूरा सॉफ्टवेयर
हाँ हाँ
और पाइथन प्लस जावा भी हो सकते हैं।
हाँ बिल्कुल होता है।
दो पाइथन भी हो, जावा भी हो सॉफ्टवेयर के अंदर। पाइथन जावा सी प्लस प्लस, अलग कौन सा बेटर रहेगा तीनों में से?
दोनों कर ले, पाइथन जावा। सी प्लस करने की जरूरत नहीं है, पाइथन जावा कर ले। अच्छा,
एक सॉफ्टवेयर के लिए काफ़ी है।
एक कोई लैंग्वेज कर ले, दूसरा अपने आप हो जाता है, क्योंकि कॉन्सेप्ट जो होता है टॉपिक सेम नहीं होता हर लैंग्वेज में। कोई लैंग्वेज में ऐसा नहीं है कि क्लासेस नहीं होते, फंक्शन नहीं होते, वेरिएबल्स नहीं होते, सब होती है सेम। सिंटैक्स सबके सेम होते हैं, लिखने का तरीका सबका सेम होता है। पाइथन के अंदर जो है यही चीज़ कंसाइज हो जाता है।
जावा हमें कुछ प्लेटफॉर्म्स प्रोवाइड करता है, जबकि चीज़ें मतलब पाइथन में कुछ कमी है, पर जावा में कुछ एडवांटेज है।
हाँ, वो चीज़ ऑब्वियसली क्योंकि फैसिलिटी उसमें कुछ ज़्यादा होती है, बट कमांड लाइन सबकी सेम ही होती है। हाँ हाँ हाँ, ठीक। Okay, so let's store data of a new student. So obviously I'm going to pass a 102. Obviously I cannot use a 101 because I have already used this, and because this is the primary key, so I cannot use a duplication here. So now let's see Sanya, and the Sanya, let's say, belong to the Bangalore. Okay, so next data going to be third student, 103, obviously going to be its ID, and let's say here Tanya, and obviously Tanya going to be, let's say, Pune. Okay, now let's store the value here for the fourth student, and this going to be Tamnai, and Tamnai obviously let's say Bihar. Okay, let's store a different data of a new student 105, and let's say Vansh, and obviously Vansh is belong to, let's say, Kerala. Okay, so now we have storing a multiple data of a different student here. So now obviously, see, here we are using previously we are using execute, but this time we need to execute many, because we are storing a multiple data here, multiple data of a different student here. So obviously now in a first, obviously we have to pass the command here, and the command is stored in a variable, and I'm just calling that SQL, and the values is obviously stored in a val here. And if I run this code, and okay, so object tuple is not callable, so let me see what's exactly happening. And I'm getting some error, Tamnai Bihar. Okay, so okay, there's a comma. Okay, so if I run this, okay, so now we are not getting any error, so we have successfully run. And I try to get all fetch all the data, and if I run this again, so here now we have added successfully new data of a student here. So obviously previously we have Alexa, now we have a Sanya. Obviously in this time we have stored Sanya, Tanya, Tamnai, and one share. So Sanya, Tanya, Tamnai, and one share. So this is how we can store a multiple data at the same time, but this time you have to use execute many, because we are storing a multiple data at the same time. So this is how we can store use a list to store a multiple data at the same time. Okay guys, so this is how we can store the values and multiple values. Any question? Okay, perfect. So let's move on and see. After completion our operation on a MySQL workbench, it is a must to to get out after closing all the connections and all the cursor that you have built in before, because still we have a connected through the Python to our MySQL workbench here. So obviously before leaving this MySQL and after completing this task, obviously we need to disconnect our workbench from the Python here. So this is the best way and this is a safe way to go out after operating any performance. Sorry. Okay. सर क्लास चल रहा होता ना तो. Okay, so let's close all the connections and all the cursor that we have built before. So I just call the con dot close. Okay, and now cur dot close, and again we have a cursor dot close. So if I run this, so we are getting a true. Simply means we have all the connections, the cursors that we built before. So we have finally now we have we don't have any connections. The connections that we have previously, now we have disconnected from the MySQL, and now we are this time we are in a Python here. So there is no connectivity between a Python and the MySQL here. Okay, so if I try to do this code again, or I just after disconnecting with the MySQL workbench, I just try to get again try to get the value that is stored in a student table here. If I run this code, so obviously we are now getting an error that your cursor has been closed, is not connected, or simply means it is disconnected right now. So now this is the way, this is the safe way to go out after closing all the credentials that you used before. Okay guys, so any question, any queries? So this is our MySQL. Okay, so okay, so this is it. This is it for the MySQL. So let's jump on the next topic here, and let me see what is your next topic. Okay guys, can we have a break for 10 minutes, then we will resume.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, thank you. So Ram sir has a questions. Any another one more question. So we are using a commit to add changes we make to a table every times we execute. Is it? Yes, yes, sir. Yes. Whenever you are changing anything in a MySQL, so commit obviously going to be finalized. It's just saying that it is a final, and obviously this commit function going to be add changes in your MySQL workbench. So obviously every time whenever you just changes things, so you always need commit function here every time.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so let's take a break for 10 minutes, and then let's resume the class after 10 minutes.
Okay, sir.
क्या बोला क्लास स्टार्ट हो
नहीं ये लूँगा अभी।
है स्टूडेंट है क्या नाम है ये लुकस तो हम लोग के वहाँ पढ़ रहा था ये
अफ्रीकन अफ्रीकन अफ्रीकन
ये है पहाड़ी मणिपुर मेरा तो वैसे ही मणिपुरी का स्टूडेंट डाला हुआ है उन लोगों को नहीं आता है
ना ऐसे हमें क्या
सर 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 सर
okay, so I'm back. Hope you are guys all there. Okay, Ram sir, Lucas and Nelson sir, are you there all?
Yes, yes, I am there.
So let's start and let's jump to the next topic here. And this topic going to be image process. Simply means all the process that we can do on images like cropping and resizing, blurring, and changing colors. So all this performance basically what we do in our phone with the images. So that's all going to be used in a Python same as. Okay, so I'm just using obviously we have a image process here. So obviously we need to import a module here that help us to you know to call the photos in a Python here and to do some operations on it. So obviously we have two module here. Okay, so this is called the CV2, and this module CV2 is obviously going to this module is used to call the photos in a Python here, and the second to visualize or to show the image here, we have a different module, and that's module is called the matplotlib here. So matplotlib, okay, matplotlib.pyplot, so .pyplot. So this is the this two module used to. Okay, so we are using these two module for our image operations. So obviously CV2 going to be used to call the photos in our Python here, and this matplotlib going to use to visualize our image here. So obviously if you don't have guys, so just go for a script folder and just write command here and open a command prompt. Obviously it show you the current location of your. So this is going to be obviously inside the script folder. Now we have to install the module here. So pip install, and now after pip install we have a module name that's called OpenCV. Open and CV. No, OpenCV, OpenCV, and OpenCV minus. No, wait. I'm just forgetting what exactly module name here. So let's search for the module name, and I'm just calling the PyPy, PYPI. So it will give you the exact name of your module here. So let's okay, OpenCV. If I run this, okay, so this is going to be I think this one. No, Fastnet, not Fastnet. Okay, so it's OpenCV, Cuba engine, Fixer, Helper, Child. Okay, UTV, Export, NTTV, OpenCV, Calculator, OpenTV. I think okay, let's go with the basic code, and the code is OpenCV, and if I run this, okay, so obviously the file name is not matched, so OpenCV, okay, so OpenCV, I think it's a minus Python. If I run this again, okay, so yeah, this is the correct name of your module. Pip install OpenCV and Python here. So okay, so this is the OpenCV minus Python here, and obviously we have I have already this module, so that's why I'm getting requirement already satisfied. So I'm just cutting this, and let's back to the, and the second module, obviously let's say command prompt again, now. Okay, so now pip install matplotlib, that's it. Run this. So obviously I have already both the module. So you just go for the OpenCV minus Python, and another one is a matplotlib, that's it. Okay, so let's, okay, so now I'm going to download one images. So see, I have a sqrl this image, you can see this I have already. If I open this, so you have to keep this file in a script folder, this image obviously. Just go and download any images from a Google, and just keep the this image in a script folder here, the script folder inside the Python here. So it is easy to call directly with the name, otherwise we have to pass the complete path here. So just go and download. Okay, if I show you the website where you can get the HT or a, you know, like it's called Pexels here. So PEXELS Pexels, and this is the website where you can get the multiple images, and the images quality is very good here. So you can just go and download here. So you just download any images, whatever you want, this and anything, or if you have kind of any name, so you just search for this and just export this these images here. Okay, so you go and download, and I have already downloaded this image, and if I show you in my script folder, this is the sqrl image. I just got this image from a same website. So you just have to download and keep the images in a script folder here. Okay, so now I need to using this module OpenCV, I just need to call this image in my Python here. So obviously I just import and CV2. Obviously CV2 is another name of OpenCV here. Okay, now I have to import a library that's called pyplot, and pyplot obviously is a library in a module of matplotlib. So I'm just from matplotlib, and from matplotlib just import a library, and name is called pyplot, and I'm just going to give a short name to this pyplot as a PLT. So it's make easy to use the PLT as a pyplot here. So obviously now we have successfully installed and imported our two module here. Now using the CV2 dot, and we have in a CV2 we have a function called IAMRead. So IAMRead function, and this IAMRead function going to collect your images here, and the images name I need to pass sqrl here. Okay, so I just pass here sqrl, SQREL sqrl, and dot, because this is the image file, so I just pass the extension .jpg, and this IAMRead going to read the images here, and obviously it is going to be get the images, and these images I'm just storing in a different variable here. So let's say img. So this is the variable where your image is stored in a memory location. Okay, if I run this, obviously I'm not getting any error, because image has been successfully imported and stored in a image variable here. So I'm just using this variable as a reference of this image, and okay, so now I need to visualize this image, and I want to see this image here. So obviously I just call the PLT, because obviously matplotlib is here to use to visualize or to show the image here. And in the PLT, obviously in pyplot, we have a function called IAMShow, and in this IAMShow I just pass the variable where our image is stored. So in this case we have an image here, and if I run this code, so here we are getting an image. So see one thing here, if I show you the original picture here, so this is the with the different color, but if I am getting this very okay, so let me open this again, so I can minimize, and if I show you the code, there is a code here, and if I show the images that is imported from in a Python from our library script folder, so this the color is kind of different. So what exactly happening whenever we call the images from the library in our Python here, so obviously the colored images, see we have basically two type of color we can say color channel here. So obviously this is the color channel is called the RGB. Simply means RGB is we all know that the RGB is the primary color of a nature. So whenever we just call these images, any images in a Python, so obviously by default it is called in a color channel of BGR. BGR means blue, green, red. So by default it called BGR. So by default it called in a BGR channel. So simply means that's why we are seeing this image as a blue, green, red. So red is not a primary here, because red is that's why and red is a very they just ignore the red, and that's why we are getting this image as a blue and green here. So we can see, you can see the blue images, and this is the green images. So now we need to import this image, to convert this image to the original image. And for this, because we know this image is imported in the form of BGR channel, now we need to convert BGR to RGB, RGB, and RGB is obviously this is a primary color. Okay, so here, and to converting this, obviously we need to use a CV2 and a CV2, and in this we have a function called CVT color, COLOR, and this color functions. In this color functions, we have to pass a two argument. Obviously, in the first argument, we have to pass the images which color we are going to change here. So obviously, this image is stored in this IMG variable. So I'm just passing this as a reference of this image, and in the second parameter, I have to tell this that convert the BGR to RGB. For this, I just use CV2, and in this CV2, we have a keyword called color, COLOR, and everything is in a capital letter, color underscore BGR to RGB. That's it. And this because this is going to be a changed image, and it is going to be changed into original images, and this images, obviously I'm just going to call the I'm just putting this image as a name of original variable. So in original variable, we have our original images that is in the form of a real color, and this is IMG. In image variable, we have an image what the Python get from our library here. So if I run this code, and simply if we are not getting any error, simply means this images has been changed into our original color here. So if I just show this images, so plt im show using function, and in this im show I just pass the original, because in original variable we have a image that we have downloaded directly from Google here. So if I run this again, and you can see the images of a real images. If I show you the again, so this is the images that we downloaded from the Google, and this is the images that we converted into a real color here. So now obviously the color is different, because this is some different pixels, and obviously this is a different pixels. So don't go you cannot see the clarity, because this is obviously still it is a we are coding here, and this is not coded image here. So this is how we can import it. How we can import our image in our Python, and now we can change the BGR to RGB to its original color. Okay, now let's. Okay, if I show you the size of this color, what is exactly size of this color? As we can see, the length, the height of this color is more than a 1750, and the breadth is more than a 500. So okay, so we have a okay, just we want to see the what is the exactly shape and size of this image here. What is the length, what is the height, and what is the channel color here. So obviously now we have to okay, so let's original. In original we have okay, so in original we have a original picture, and now I have a keyword called shape here. And if I run this code, so obviously we are getting some values here. So this is the length, this is the breadth, and this is the color channel. So 3 means the color channel is RGB, simple, and this is your length, and this is the 1805, this 1805 length. Breadth is 2760, obviously this is going to 2760, and 3 is the nothing but the channel of your color, and the color channel is 3 means RGB, simple. Okay, so now let's move on next topic, and let's try to resize this image. So resize images here. Okay, so for resizing images, I just need to call the module here CV2, and we have a function called resize function. And in this resize function, we have to pass 2 arguments. Obviously first we have to pass the images that are going to be resized here. So obviously I'm just performing. So we have a two images. Okay, so one is the real images, that is real images that we directly download from the Google here, and the second images is this one that the Python called here. So obviously both the images stored in a both different variable, images img, that is a Python made images, and the original images in original variable we have a original value here, original images here. So obviously I'm just using operation on this image here. Okay, so I just call the original, and in a second argument we use tuple, and in this tuple we have to pass the length and the breadth. Let's say we have a 1805 and 27060 is a length and breadth here, so I'm just resizing to 500, and the second one also the 500. So if I okay, now I just store this resized image to a different variable called the res. Okay, and if I run this code, obviously our image has been resized, and thus that resized image is stored with the in a different variable here. So if I show that the I am show, and in this I am show I just call the res, and if I run this, so here we have a resized image. So this is the original image, and this is the resized image. And if I just show you the what is exactly shape now, so what we have a shape of this image right now, so I just call the res, because in a res we have a resized image and dot call shape here, but that's it. And if I run this, so now you can see the 500 and color is, the channel of the color is the same 3. So this is before this is the before the changing or resizing the shape or the size of image, and now we have a final this is the shape and size of the image after resizing this. So this is what we can do resizing. And next, let's say if we talk about the okay, so what we can do, okay, okay, so now let's blur this image. So how can we blur this image? So okay, I'm just using the same original image. I am just using same image for the blurring here. So next we can do is we can blur image. Okay, nothing but the blur image. And here let's cv2 dot Gaussian 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 BLUR blur, Gaussian blur, and in this obviously I'm just using the original image and copy, and obviously we have to use a tuple here, and in this tuple I have okay, so we have to pass the 3 argument, the 0 is the last argument always, and in this second argument we have to pass the meter of the blurring here. So let's say 105 and comma 105. So you can increase or decrease this value, because this value is completely depend the blurring level, your blurring level, and I'm just putting this blur image in a blur here. Okay, if I run this again, so obviously successfully we have just blurred this image and stored in a different variable called blur here. Now if I try to get this blur image from blur variable, so I just call plt imshow, and in imshow I just call the blur blur. If I run this code, so here you can see the image is clarity, and now we can see the image has blurred here. Okay guys, so any questions? I don't think so you have any questions in this topic. If you have, you can ask me. Any queries? Lucas, Nelson, Ram sir?
Nope.
Okay, so let's go on. Okay, so now what we can do with the image, see we have a function, so we can we have a like a exactly we can say the function here. So we have a function canny function, and this canny function used to make the images as a outliers. Simply means this function is used for the images that is clicked in a night images. Simply means we cannot see this canny functions obviously used to identify the object in a night night color, or we can say the without in a light here. So the images that is taken in a night sea or without a light, in absence of light, so obviously it is hard to detect the where is the object and what is the object kept is here. So obviously if we want to so in this case what exactly can I do is just it just make outlines outlines of the object here. So if I show you with an example, okay, so let's, and this is called the edging color. So this is doing the edging. So EDGE, edge detections. This is called the edge detections. And if I, okay, so again I'm using on the same in the same image, original image, and okay, so CV2 we have a canny function. Sorry, in canny C is going to be capital here, and canny, in a canny function obviously I'm going to use original value and comma, and now we have to pass a second argument. Let's say I'm just passing some random value, and this is obviously going to be your level of your can here. So I just call the can variable where is the canny images is stored, and plt dot im show, and this show I'm going to be can see, and that's it. Run this. Okay, so now this has detected the images. Okay, if we have a suppose image in a night shift, so obviously this is going to be detect our image, and it just separate the object and the background color here. Okay, so if I use the different parameter, so what is going to be, and if I run this again, so obviously we are getting some dark figure. Okay, so this is how we can make outlines in a object from a background colors. So this is now it for the images process here. Okay guys, so let's keep it okay, so let's keep it here now. So we have so we have to keep another class for your ending, and obviously we have only 2 topic left, so obviously we have to keep 1 class more. So hope next Saturday, obviously this is going to be our last class in next Saturday. So we have a okay, so image processor has done. Okay, now oops, just a second. Okay, oops, I'm just sent. So we have 2 topics left. One is interacting with network, another is a GUI, simply means a graphical user interface, and the next the third topic is this is not going to be that much deeper, but yes, we have a data science, machine learning, and AI. This is the just an introduction part, and I just let you know what is the data science, what is the use of data science in this scenario, machine learning, AI, and all these things, and how does it all these topics works in a real life. Okay, so okay guys, so let keep this thing here, and see you in next class. If you have any question, any queries, you can ask before leave. Any question or answer?
No, sir. All good, sir.
Okay, so Lucas and Nelson.
No, sir.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
okay guys,
Thank you.
okay, see you in next class, next Saturday.
See you.
Okay guys, bye bye.
Yes, yes.
Have a nice day. See you there.